3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, June 3rd, 2018. The week is beginning. It's been a pretty good, solid start to the month for cryptocurrency. In this video, I want to talk about a couple things. Number one, there was this interesting article that came out talking about bubbles in relation to Bitcoin as well as the stock market. I want to go over a few points in that article. And then I want to go over some really cool things I'm seeing with Litecoin charts right now and throw some of my thoughts out there for you. So let's jump in and get started. So this was a really cool article. I just wanted to go over a few points real quick and then we'll jump into Litecoin. So which is developing a bigger bubble, Bitcoin or the stock market? Bubbles are being spotted everywhere. Unfortunately, most don't have the tools to really determine if a market is in a bubble. All bubble assets are looking like they're going much higher in 2018. It's kind of a summary of this article. More and more analysts are pointing to some financial crisis after another as each day goes by. And that's really the general thought of this article, which is true. You see it all the time on different websites, forums, articles being written. The market's getting ready to crash and you see it everywhere. He says the problem is that most bubble callers have no objective perspective through which they can determine that any market is in a bubble. As an example, one article I recently read suggests we are in a bubble in the NASDAQ because we've exceeded the 2000 bubble high in the markets. Well, along those lines, maybe the Dow should not have exceeded the bubble high it struck in 1929. You see, many of these same analysts are looking for a massive rally in gold. Yet one has to wonder why they can logically see gold rally well past its bubble high struck in 2011, but they're unable to accept any other market rallying beyond their bubble highs struck in recent history. I think one has to start viewing much of the analysis being published today as more emotionally based rather than analytically based. And first of all, the stock market and cryptocurrency, different markets. I get it. A lot of people see synergy between the two. A lot of people like to compare the two, but they're completely different. I don't think if one crashes, the other will, obviously. And if any market is at a risk of being in a bubble or at a bubble high, I truly think it would be the stock market, not the crypto market. I don't think we're anywhere near being in a bubble in crypto right now. That's not happening right now, in my opinion. But really, one of my favorite parts of this article is this last part. He says, I think one has to start viewing much of the analysis being published today as more emotionally based rather than analytically based. Emotionally based. It's true. Even these analysts you see on the news, you see writing these articles, they're emotional human beings as well. And we have to remember that. But at the end of the day, they have no clue. And a lot of their thoughts for why why we may be in a bubble are completely out there. So I wanted to throw that out there. Let me know your thoughts about a bubble or not a bubble. Do you think we're anywhere near a bubble in stock market as well as crypto? Let me know. So let's jump into Litecoin. Let's start off with a tweet that, let's start off with this tweet I did. I said, this was from the other day, by the way, May 31st. I'd be convinced we found a bottom if we could get over this resistance at the 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart, which I've been watching the 4-hour chart a lot more recently since we've kind of been at this bottom that we've been trying to define. And I said right now 121 is that area, right, of resistance on the 4-hour. It was. And you can see it on the snapshot I took. There's that 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart. And we're going to look at it in real time in a second. And then I said a bull run through 135 to form higher high above 200 EMA would ultra convince me of a bull market. And I want to use this tweet, I guess, as kind of the backbone of this video. So let's look at it. And I guess we're kind of going to go a little backwards. We're going to start on that 4-hour chart since we were just talking about it. So there's the tweet about the 4-hour chart. Let's go see the 4-hour chart, and you can see I tweeted, and we were, where was that? May 31st. So we were like right back here somewhere, I guess, probably right in there, and we were looking at this 50 EMA as resistance. And if we scroll back we see that it's been a true area of resistance, and it's a great trend line to watch. The last time we actually broke above the 50 EMA on the 4-hour was right at the beginning of this bull run that we had up to like $180 not long ago. I mean, it's like a month ago. So, and then since then we've seen the 50 cross the 200 EMA, and we've seen resistance at the 50. So it's a very good line to watch. And so I've been watching it, and as you see, that was 4 days ago. I tweeted that. And now we've actually broken above the 50 EMA for the first time since that bull run around a month ago. So right now, we can go to the 1 hour, and I tweeted about this earlier. This is kind of where my head's at right now on the short term. I'm doing actually more of a short term technical analysis for you. I don't do them all the time, but it's really like I tweeted about this earlier, step by step, little bit at a time. So we start on the smaller time frames, and we kind of gradually see Litecoin and other cryptos build momentum in this market. So this first step that I tweeted about earlier was about, and I'll actually, you know what, I'm gonna bring up the tweet because it helps paint a good picture of where we were a little bit earlier. So here it is. Last time the 50 EMA made an upward move through the 200 EMA on the 1 hour chart was 1 month ago. So that happened a month ago as well. Next up is the 4 hour chart, then the daily chart. So you can see in terms of the 50 crossing the 200, right? The last time that happened was a month ago. So it successfully has done that. And you can see that I highlighted that in the tweets, and it successfully has done that. So now we need to see higher highs and higher lows on this 1 hour, which I'm looking for continued momentum, so that we have right now on the 4 hour, the next step, which is the 50 EMA turning around, which it has, right, over the last couple of days, and starting to approach the 200 EMA right now at like that $131 area. So right now, if you want to watch short term, this is what I'm watching on the 4 hour. Continued momentum of this 50 EMA to approach the 200 EMA, and a 4 hour cross on the two would be awesome. And so right now, going back to my original tweet that started this video, this is kind of my ultra bullish area of we've really defined this third bottom, this third higher low. And so now we can kind of go where I usually start on these videos, right? Which is the weekly. And right now I want to point out something on the weekly, which is the stock RSI. If I can get this. Okay, so you see the stock RSI, and you actually can start seeing a little bit leveling out in the oversold area. So if what we're seeing on the smaller time frames continues and this momentum continues, we might see a change in momentum on the weekly, which would be a perfect position for you know, a nice solid bull run. And really, if you really want to dig into it, you can kind of look the last time we were oversold, what happened when we came out of oversold, and that would be right in this area right here, coming up to that third lower high. So if we are going to have a bounce right now off this third bottom, I mean, really a lot of the indicators are really showing that happening. And again, we can also follow the MACD on the weekly as well as the MACD on the daily. So we have that cross right there, the MACD line crossing the signal line, and momentum just looking good right now. So obviously this is kind of a bullish, positive sounding video because right now the charts look really good and things look very healthy. But I do want to throw caution out there, as always. In this market, things can change very quick. Tomorrow can be a negative 12% day. So please just be careful. Don't FOMO into this little momentum that we're having right now. However, I'd like to say that this is a pretty positive video, and I guess I'll end it by saying, if you look on the daily, we're above that 40. So we talked about it as we came out. We came under it, about staying above it. I'm always talking about it. It might get annoying, but it's ultra important, at least from the way that I do technical analysis, that we stay above that 40 line on the RSI, which, you know, going below it doesn't concern me. It's when we stay below it for an extended amount of time. So we haven't, we're back above it, which is awesome. And let's kind of see what's going on. So follow me on Twitter if you don't follow me. Hopefully you have a Twitter, but I try and take snapshots of charts throughout the day on the smaller time frames. Sometimes I'll put guesses out there. Sometimes I'll ask, what you all think, what's going to happen. But I try and track the movements over there a little bit more, obviously, especially if I don't get to do a video every single day, which I do try to do. But there it is. I'll expand out on that daily. It's looking good, but please be careful. Please have your investment in order. Please have your, if you're trading, stop losses, all that good stuff, have them in order. Don't spend more than you can afford to lose, because anything can happen in this crazy, crazy game of crypto. But I appreciate you coming by tonight. It's Sunday, June 3rd, beginning of a week. Hopefully it's a great week for you, and appreciate you coming by. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'd love to have you as part of the channel. As always, I will see you in the next video, and God bless.